Hello YouTube, my name is Irving and welcome back to Season 3 of Can They Be DLC, this time with Episode 7 centered around the Tales of series, more specifically with Mr. Lloyd Irving, the only one that really the Smash community knows, and last episode we talked about Dante, so if you want to go back and check that one out, please do, and feel welcome to do it. But before we get on to the major topic of this video, let's talk about the big news that happened this week. First was Harada, the Tekken producer, talking about he's gonna do whatever it is, all of it that he has in his power to make sure that characters that are spammed, not to get into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as DLC. He got tired of people spamming him and others with the hashtags for characters in Smash and requests for Smash, because it's funny. It's always going to be funny to me. People that spam characters for Smash. Here's the thing. I could get a character like Agumon right there. I could get it like a character like my most wanted, Wonder Red. I could understand those characters being spammed about, like, we want it, although the vast majority of people don't. But like, I could see these characters being spammed and like shown around, having campaigns of support behind them, like K. Rool had, for example. I understand those. I can, because they're niche characters, or characters they're not really talked about much in the Smash universe, niche in the case of 101, not talked about much in the case of Digimon. How much we want them, how much it's discussed, and like bring attention to the characters. But characters like Sora, characters like, for a while, Ridley, characters even like Gino, do people really think that Nintendo and Sakurai don't know that these characters are requested? Do they? It's like, do you really not think what you're talking about? Just, you know, it's a really weird situation with spam characters, especially more popular ones. Let's keep the fight going and campaign to get Nintendo to know that Sora is requested by us, the fans. Despite the fact that we've all known, and everybody knows that Sora is requested. For better or for worse. Same thing with Steve and Crash. And Master Chief, I wouldn't say Master Chief, but Master Chief only recently gained traction, so maybe you could debate whether it was the requested or not. But still, you don't need to spam. Waluigi is another example. Do you really think that Nintendo doesn't know that you wanted him? They know, they just don't care about Waluigi. And to be honest, I'll probably go over it more in detail of characters and franchises that are better represented in Smash without being playable. Waluigi kind of fits better as a assist trophy. But anyway, that's part one of the news. The second part of the news is the Overwatch launch on Switch. So obviously there's been the big controversy surrounding Blizzard and what's happening in Hong Kong and China. So, you know, there is that element to it. But with all the things that happen in that not little thing of like that big thing that's happening, we know that Nintendo doesn't like to put themselves out there and make a political statement. I think it's fair to say, I think as a video game company, and I think mostly if you are famous, you really shouldn't be giving political statements, mostly because in my opinion, no matter who you are, if you're famous, most likely than not, you're gonna have some type of cash-in to say something political. You know, that's just my opinion. I just think like, whenever I see Robert De Niro, for example, coming out and saying, fuck Donald Trump, I'm like, hey, but you're getting something out of this, aren't you? It's like if you came out and said, hooray for Donald Trump, you would also be getting something out of it. So I don't really trust your opinions. It's finicky, because you're finicky. I mean, all of us are finicky, but when you're a public figure, more finicky because money. I mean, I would go to the Tonys and say fuck Donald Trump just if I was getting paid a buttload of money. I'll say fuck a lot of people just to get a lot of money. That's beside the point. Why am I even making that point? But not gaming companies shouldn't be in, because let's be completely honest, I don't play video games to be taught right from wrong, to choose between the left or the right, between capitalism, socialism, and communism. I don't play video games to be like, did you know that gay people should have the same rights as straight people? Because like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, they should. But it's like, I don't need companies to tell me that, and I don't need companies to make any other argument. And with Blizzard's whole thing being that, you know, making a very clear political statement in the favor of China with the banning of a player that was protesting for Hong Kong, and it's clearly that Blizzard is trying to damage control as much as they can. BlizzCon is going to be a bloodbath, unless the rumors are true and they announced the Diablo 4 and Diablo 2 remastered. You're going to get people really riled up in there. There's going to be a lot of hate towards Blizzard. But Nintendo, like a video game company should, or yeah, is not choosing a side or not be like, oh, we are pro Hong Kong or we are pro China. They're keeping themselves in the gray, although people are saying they cannot be gray if they're cozying up to China, trying to get into China's market with by being a part of or being a partnership with Tencent or Tencent, I don't remember how you say that name. I'm just gonna say that that's really two different things. Not only that, if you're all gonna be like, now it's a time like anything related to China and try to get into the Chinese market, or like Chinese workers making things, we all should all basically stop doing anything that we do, because vast majority of companies either have business or trying to get into China or have business with China, like things being done in China. So I think that's there's a difference between the political things and the gaming things, or the production of things, although we really should try to be more aggressive against the companies wearing, you know, basic child labor from China. But that's a topic for a different type of video. But this whole video is about, or this thing, what I was going to say is that basically Nintendo, although not taking a side in the conversation, has taken a side of kind of being like, I think it also has to do with Blizzard. Blizzard probably is also on the side of trying to keep things into a minimum. The Overwatch came out on the Switch this past week. The launch came and gone, and Nintendo's official Twitter didn't acknowledge it. The game's still out, and yes, the Nintendo.com website had the big thing on the front saying, hey, here it is, Overwatch is on Switch. But they really didn't do much more than that, and like somebody says, come on, let's be completely honest, does anybody really go to Nintendo.com or PlayStation.com or Xbox.com, if that's a real thing, for the promotion of their games? No, you go to YouTube, and you go to Twitter, and Facebook maybe, and all the Reset Era, GameFAQs, you go to Reddit. You don't go to the official websites. And no mention on it. Nintendo and Microsoft did also not publish the Overwatch and the most recent Crash trailers for Halloween. I know the Overwatch for Halloween and another event for Crash Team Racing because of all the things involved. PlayStation still did, but not the other two. So it's a weird thing. And now Nintendo also kind of threw Blizzard under the bus because of the cancellation of the launch event at the New York City store for Nintendo. So it's a little weird, but Nintendo clearly is distancing themselves from this. Now, will Tracer or Crash come in to Smash as DLC? Still probable. Let's see how things are in 5 months, in 6 months, in 7 months, whenever they decide to release the character. I think if Character 5 is from it, it is a Crash Bandicoot or a Tracer. I don't think Nintendo could do anything now to stop the development and like delay it as much as possible, because I could literally see like a situation where Crash or Tracer are eligible, are in development, but Nintendo tells Sakurai, hey, keep it on the download, let's surf and cozy up, like let's see how things are in 5 months or 6 months before we announce the characters coming, you know, let's wait until June to see how things are. So I guess that could be it. And I guess that's basically it for the news. I have no other piece of news. Ring Fit Adventure just came out, so hooray, I guess, I don't know. Let's see how that game goes. Now let's talk about Lloyd Irving from the Tales of series. I, very much like a lot of Smash fans, don't really know much about the Tales of series or Mr. Lloyd Irving. I believe he's from the Tales of Symphonia games that came out on the GameCube. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm kind of sure that's what he came from. But anyway, the discussion here is not where can he be or can't he, or where he's from or what he is. I equivalent Mr. Irving very much to Chrom from Fire Emblem. Why? Because Lloyd, very much like Chrom, is a character that the vast majority of the Smash fan base doesn't know about, knows him, knows the series, but doesn't know the game or has played the game. But has the mentality that he will be or could be, should the franchise get a representative, he would be it. This is very much backed in by Sakurai saying, if there is a Tales of a character, let's just say that, in Super Smash Bros. That would be from the Tales of series, it obviously has to be Lloyd. Lloyd even got a Mii costume based off of him for Smash 4. Now, the reason I equate him to Chrom is because Chrom feels the exact same thing. A main character from his game that the Smash community knows, mostly from the possibility of being in Smash. The difference I think here is that Chrom had, from all I understand, never, although he was possible for a playable character in Smash, Sakurai felt like he was going to be a boring pick in a time before Echoes became a thing, and he decided to go with Robin, which is as much, if not a much bigger main protagonist than Chrom is in the story, much more relevant to the story than Chrom is. I personally feel that starting in chapter, 20 of Awakening, Chrom stops being an important character in terms of, although what Robin does is only done by him, anything that Chrom does can be done by somebody else, so yeah. And I don't think the Tales of series might have those characters. They might. But at the same time, it then becomes how are these characters going to differentiate themselves from Lloyd or from other characters in Smash, because that's what kept Chrom away. So if we would keep Lloyd away, obviously we have to talk about main protagonists, because that's mostly what Sakurai goes with when including third parties or new franchises in Smash. It's mostly the mascots, the main characters, in games like Tales of, which is very much like the Final Fantasy series, ensemble casts with sequels every once in a while. It would have to be either the overall most recognizable and popular character within the Tales of universe, or it would have to be a protagonist and the most popular character, very much like Cloud is. Although Cloud is the overall main mascot of the Final Fantasy series and the most popular one of the characters, he's still one of the main protagonists of Final Fantasy 7, or the main protagonist of Final Fantasy 7. So there is a lot around it. So he had a lot going for him outside of just being one of the mascots of the series, or the mascot of the series. Because if it had been, for example, Tifa, the mascot of the series, she probably wouldn't have made it in, but Cloud could have made it in, and so could Lightning, so could Noctis could. He has been on a Nintendo system, so there's that, and Lloyd very much fits into this. He's the main protagonist. I don't think he's the most popular or of all the protagonists within the franchise and the fan base, but outside of it, he's obviously the much more popular one. A lot of people, myself included, could probably look at a Tales of series character and not really know it's from the Tales of series, but if I see Lloyd, I'm like, oh, that's Lloyd. I know you. And I've seen some other protagonists where I'm like, oh, I know this guy. He's from Tales of. I don't know which game he is or what his name, but I know him. He could be it. So how likely is Lloyd to be a character in Smash? Well, first let's look at the possibility of this season. Final character of the Fighter's Pass. I don't think he will be. I very much doubt he would be. He could, definitely, but I very much doubt. I think that right now for the final spot, I think there's a lot of characters that could be it, but Lloyd feels like an outside. He's a dark horse. He's definitely a dark horse of the characters that could be in. Right now, personally, I'm leaning very much into Doomslayer. There's rumors and leaks and rumors pointing towards Ryu Hayabusa. There's been a more recent leak that said Crash Bandicoot. I could see all of these three. But if any of these three could be it, I would most likely point towards Doomslayer or Crash, because those are actually feel like impactful characters to Smash that would create a lot of buzz and a lot of a big reaction online. Characters like Hayabusa and even Lloyd, I feel like kind of defeat the purpose of this entire thing. Although what a lot of people say that the reason why we get with third parties only for Smash, that is, they create more buzz, more electricity, more acknowledgement, more hype for Smash Bros. And obviously it's something that Sakurai very much wants to do, mostly not because, no disrespect Nintendo to these franchises or people that like them or the characters themselves. It's like Crash and Doomslayer, I could see being big deals outside of the announcements. But would Lloyd and Ryu Hayabusa really be that much bigger characters than Rex, for example? Would they be bigger than the Officer Howard? I don't think they would. There's a possibility they would, but I don't think so. Like, Astral Chain is very recent and for all accounts has been very successful. Same thing has been a thing for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, very successful. For crying out loud, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition was the closer to Nintendo's latest Nintendo Direct. Keep in mind, September's Nintendo Direct last year ended with Animal Crossing, which is just one of the biggest Nintendo franchises out there. And this year, Xenoblade ended with it. Not only that, Fire Emblem Three Houses. I'm not a betting boy, but I would, if I had to say, I'm pretty sure Fire Emblem Three Houses is going to sell numbers that I cannot confirm these numbers are true, but I believe these numbers are from GameLibrary.com. Put the Ninja Gaiden franchise at 8.7 million units sold. I don't know, I don't think this includes Dead or Alive, and it probably doesn't, but let's say 8.7 million units sold worldwide throughout 9 games from Ninja Gaiden, including a vast amount of platforms, including many of the games being multi-platforms. I think Three Houses could sell upwards to 5 million, which would be well over half of the sales data from Ninja Gaiden. So would would Ryu Hayabusa really be that much more impactful than Byleth or the Professor from Three Houses? I don't think so. I think that a lot of it, I don't know, it's just one of the excuses of people wanting it, it's more attention, more things. A lot of characters, I think, even in third parties, we're running out of characters that would be that impactful. We're starting to see people just going with characters that like either have no chance in hell to be in Smash, or mostly because of some stuff that Sakurai has said, and are not being that recognizable to the worldwide audience, or to the majority of people that play Smash, even if the game is worldwide, when they're trying to sell you DLC and not base roster. But anyway, but outside of the Fighters pack, could Lloyd be in? I guess he could be, because once again, we don't know how DLC is going to work for outside of the Fighters pack. I'm pretty sure Nintendo, the way that Mr. Terry is going to be announced and revealed, properly revealed, or get his thing, will be through a Direct. I don't think we're going to get a proper Nintendo Direct or a Direct Mini. We could get a Direct Mini, but I'm thinking, right now, I'm going to be completely honest, I'm working on a video about like possible packs of things like grouped up together, could come in DLC Season 2. Hopefully I want to get this video done and out by the 30th, because I feel like very early on in November, maybe not October 31st, we might start to see a release date to Terry. We might get an Nintendo Direct that showcases Terry, the character of Pack 5, and who else comes afterwards. And the first character of what's coming afterwards, how the things are going to work afterwards. So if it's a la carte, like it's a free show, free run, I could definitely see a Tales of pack or a Namco pack that includes Lloyd in there as a possibility to it happening. So for Season 2, it all depends. Being another pack, another Fighters pack, find it more difficult for him to be a part of. Is it a la carte? Then the possibility is definitely there. So now let's move on to the comments. We have 2 for the Dante episode and 1 from a very, very old video. I think this one is from my Smash Week from last year that happened right before E3, which was the last talk about Son Goku. This is for us from Smash Week, because it's video called Super Smash Bros. Switch, not Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So yeah, so first let's talk and read the comment from Vengeful Soul. I know it's the last comment on the video, but he's kind of a troll, mostly because he says, I hope to hell he does, regarding to Dante, and then there's a big block of whiteness and Just saying, we thought you expect something else, but no. I saw it when it was in the spam folder. I approved it and I read it, and I don't want to open it again because it's just a big block of nothingness until the end. So you troll you, but Dante would be a character fun, a funny character to have in Smash, just because of the whole relationship with Bayo, I think. Then Terry Servanson said Galarian Ponyta is a psychic type, not a fairy type. So I was wrong on that. I legit thought it was fairy type. So maybe Rapidash could be fairy type. I don't know. They look fairy. I don't know. Sometimes snapping in Pokemon don't make much sense, but hey, maybe they'll get a better explanation in it. I don't think we'll get any more Capcom characters as fighters, but I do think if any additional characters get in, they would be Mii costumes, and they could come with a music track like the Sans Mii costume, which would be interesting to see. If Ivy got in the official, Jesus, let me drink something. My mouth is really dry. Where was I? If Ivy got in, the only outfit she has that is not sexualized is her Player 2 costume from Soul Calibur 2. Did not know that she had a much more PG costume, and I also have to hurry up because I have 6 minutes of battery on my camera. How did that happen? I always saw the costume of, like, you know, the traditional costume, which was very BDSM, so yeah. In regards to Lloyd Irving, I think he could get in, could either be a DLC or they could bring back his Mii costume. I forgot to mention his Mii costume, and yeah, the Mii costume could definitely be something that they bring back. With Ivy, the sexual, it's good to see that she doesn't only have the sexualized costume, but yeah, now maybe we could see her costume in Smash, even as a Mii costume. Should a Solo Calibur character be in, and then from the Super Smash Bros. Switch, let's talk about Goku. David T0247 said, some people also say Lucario makes it so that Goku is eligible for Smash. That's obviously fake. The Pokemon franchise started as a video game. It started as video games, the anime came later, and Lucario is owned by Nintendo. Obviously, he was designed as a video game character first, unlike Goku. Exactly, that's what a lot of people have problems understanding. A character could have an anime but not be anime, and a character could have a game and not be games. I always feel like if we talk about Goku being in Smash, I always say that, like, okay, so let's bring in a FIFA player, a FIFA character from the games, because a football player, because FIFA is huge, so let's bring Cristiano Ronaldo in. Oh wait, we also need fighters, so how about we make a UFC call or a WWE call and get Brock Lesnar? To me, they're in the same thing. And although I would wish to talk more about this comment because it's brilliantly made, and I'll say this, the only character from Dragon Ball that could make it into Smash that doesn't break any of the rules is Android 21, because she was a video game character first and a Dragon Ball character second. Anyway, I have 2 minutes, so let's do the outro very quick. I apologize for this frantic ending to the video. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I've been Lloyd of Yes. Join me again next time for a character I wanted to do early on in this series, in Season 1 to be fair, and I didn't do it because I didn't think it was going to happen. But anyway, because of a recent leak that happened, or rumor, we're going to be talking about a Fortnite character coming to Smash next week. So thank you guys for watching. I've been Lloyd of Yes. See you guys then.